This woman desperately wants money. She goes by the name Rosemary and works as a police officer. However, the money Rosemary earned as a police officer wasn't really enough for her. So she began searching for both legit and illegitimate ways to make money. And then one day, Rosemary came up with a brilliant plan to fetch herself more money. So a few months later, a guy called Homo, who happens to be Rosemary's cousin, suddenly went missing. And a few days later, he was found dead. Someone had beaten him to death. 1 year later, after the death of Rosemary's cousin Homo, another lady called Audrey, who happens to be Rosemary's sister, suddenly went missing, and later on she herself was also found dead. Someone had poisoned her and strangled her to death. Later that same month, after the death of Rosemary's sister Audrey, another young lady called Zanelle, who happens to be Rosemary's niece, was also found dead. This time someone had beaten her to death. 2 years after the death of this Rosemary's niece, another man called Maurice, who happens to be Rosemary's boyfriend and the father of her child, suddenly went missing, and as expected, later on he was found dead. Someone had stabbed him to death. 2 years after the death of Rosemary's boyfriend, another guy named Mayeni, who is Rosemary's nephew, was also found dead. 1 year after the death of Rosemary's nephew, another guy named Mashego, who happens to be a second nephew of Rosemary, was also found dead. That is, within a space of 6 years, 6 of Rosemary's relatives died mysteriously. And the sad part is that the police didn't really do much investigation to find out if these deaths are linked somehow to each other. But then one day, a hitman named Njabolo went to the police station and reported that Rosemary had recently hired him to kill one of her sisters, Joycey, and her 5 children. However, the police officers couldn't just arrest Rosemary because Njabolo, the hitman, had no evidence to support his claim. So the police decided to gather evidence to verify whether what Njabolo had told them was true. With Njabolo's assistance, they planted cameras in his car and instructed him to set up a meeting with Rosemary, with the location of the meeting being inside his car so they could record whatever conversations they would have. One of the police officers then disguised as Njabolo's partner and accompanied him to the car to wait for Rosemary. When Rosemary arrived in the car, she didn't notice the camera there or that Njabolo's partner, who was sitting at the back of the seat, was an undercover police officer. So Njabolo then asked Rosemary again what she wanted him to do, and then she revealed that she wants him to kill her sister and her 5 children. This time, everything was captured on camera. So after this confession, Rosemary was arrested and investigations began. And in the course of this investigation, the police discovered something that no one expected. Let me start this video again. So this lady goes by the name Rosemary. She's a police officer and she just discovered a plan to make crazy money. The plan was to persuade her family members into signing up for life insurance and naming her as the beneficiary. For those who don't know, the way life insurance works is that the insured person would be paying a fixed amount of money monthly to the insurance company over a specified term, such as 20 years. If the insured person passes away during this 20-year period, the beneficiary is entitled to a particular sum of money known as the death benefit. In this scenario, with a monthly payment of $30, the beneficiary could receive a death benefit of $500,000. However, this payout is only made if the insured person's death occurs within the 20-year term of paying the $30 monthly. So somehow, Rosemary was able to convince her relatives into getting insurance and adding her as a beneficiary. But after they all got this insurance and added Rosemary as the beneficiary, she hired different hitmen and began killing them one after the other. With the assistance of these hitmen, she killed her cousin Homo, her sister Audrey, her niece Zanelle, her boyfriend Maurice, her nephew Mayeni, and another nephew of hers named Mashego. After killing them, she went to their respective insurance company and claimed the insurance benefits. Rosemary received a total sum of about 1.4 million rands, which is about $110,000 from all the insurance companies. However, after receiving this money, Rosemary squandered most of it on betting at the casino, and soon she became broke again. So she decided to kill another of her sister called Joycey, who just like her other relatives has insurance, and added her as a beneficiary. But unluckily for Rosemary, when she contacted Njabolo, an entirely different hitman from the one she previously used to carry out the killing of her relatives, he was shocked by Rosemary's evil plan. Do you know how evil you have to be for a hitman to be shocked at your evil plan? So Njabolo reported the case to the police, who eventually arrested Rosemary after getting evidence. So after all this came to light, Rosemary was sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of her cousin Madaka, her sister Audrey, her niece Zanelle, her boyfriend Maurice, her nephew Mayeni, her nephew Mashegu, and also the attempted murder of her sister Joycey and her 5 kids. However, the hitmen who participated in the killing of these relatives were never found, and they've never been found up until this day. By the way, this all happened in South Africa. Follow me for more crazy stories. I'm Caleb and I've uncovered this case.